There is a single, measurable number in your body right now that predicts when you will die more accurately than a history of smoking. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your VO2 Max is the ultimate biological countdown clock and exactly how you can rewind it. This invisible metric defines the absolute ceiling of your physical capability. It was first introduced by British physiologists A.V. Hill and Hermann Herxheimer in 1922. Sprint until your lungs burn and your legs give out. That breaking point is your red line. It is tracked in milliliters of oxygen per kilogram of body mass per minute. Think of it like measuring miles per gallon for the human body. At a microscopic level, your VO2 Max score reflects how efficiently your cellular power plants use oxygen to create the energy you need to move. These tiny power plants are called mitochondria. They act like tiny microscopic furnaces burning oxygen to create cellular electricity, known as ATP. This is the biological battery that powers every single twitch of your muscles. Physiologically, your score is determined by the Fick equation. This math formula is the recipe for calculating total cardiovascular engine power. It simply multiplies how much blood your heart pumps by how much oxygen your muscles can actually pull out of that passing blood. Improving your score requires fixing both your central pump and your local extraction network. The first half is cardiac output, which is the total volume of blood the heart pumps in a minute. It behaves exactly like how much water a fire hose can spray in 60 seconds. That output depends heavily on your stroke volume. This is the amount of blood pumped with each individual heartbeat. Picture the size of a bucket used to scoop water out of a sinking boat. A bigger bucket moves more water with every single scoop. The second half is the arteriovenous oxygen difference. This measures how much oxygen tissues extract from passing blood. It acts like a sponge soaking up spilled water as it slides across a table. There is a reason doctors might be looking at the wrong vital signs during your physical. We will see why. And even the greatest Olympic skiers in history are hopelessly outclassed by a specific animal we will talk about later. To understand the massive impact of this metric, we look to a 2018 JAMA Network Open study. This means researchers looked backward at historical medical records, just like reading someone's old diary to figure out why they are sick today. The Cleveland Clinic tracked 122,000 adults for a median follow-up of 8.4 years. What they found completely upended normal medical advice. People in the lowest fitness category experience roughly 5 times the all-cause mortality risk of those in the elite fit category. Being extremely unfit is actually deadlier than having chronically high blood pressure or being diagnosed with severe coronary artery disease. Chronically high blood pressure is like pumping water through a garden hose at a dangerously high pressure. Coronary artery disease involves plaque clogging up the pipes in your home's plumbing. You could have perfect blood tests and no bad habits, but you are still at extreme risk if your oxygen engine is weak. Your current fitness level is actively multiplying or dividing your chance of dying in the next decade. Dr. Wale Jaber of the Cleveland Clinic summarized the massive scale of this discovery. We found that extremely high aerobic fitness was associated with the greatest survival, and that this benefit extended to individuals aged 70 or older and to people with hypertension. Being exceptionally fit does not just help the young. It provides a massive life-preserving benefit even if you are elderly or already have high blood pressure. You do not have to become an Olympian to see these benefits. Every tiny improvement directly extends your life. Each small boost in your cardiovascular engine is measured in a unit called a MET. A MET is a standard unit measuring how much energy you burn at rest. Think of it as the baseline idling speed of your car engine. Every single 1 MET increase in your VO2 Max score cuts your overall risk of death by 13 to 15%. That tiny shift statistically adds 45 days to your expected lifespan. This massive oxygen capacity heavily protects the brain. High cardiorespiratory fitness, how efficiently the fuel pump feeds the engine, lowers the risk of cognitive decline by 36 to 88% compared to unfit individuals. It can potentially delay the onset of dementia by 5 to 9.5 years. But here is the grim reality. You are on a biological countdown clock that is quietly accelerating as you age. This vital engine peaks in your 20s. After age 30, it begins dropping by roughly 10% every single decade. You will naturally lose nearly half of your aerobic capacity by the time you reach 70. Think of VO2 Max as a biological retirement account. You must aggressively front-load it before the balance drains away completely. If you let your score drop too far, you lose the ability to care for yourself entirely, though a strong heart is only one piece of the independence puzzle. To maintain basic physical independence in your 70s, you need a baseline level of cardiovascular power. Just getting off the toilet without help requires a specific engine size. Men need a minimum VO2 max score of roughly 20. Women need an 18.
Subscribe, please. Subscribe, please. Subscribe, please.
If you dip below these numbers, an elderly person struggling to stand up from a toilet becomes your permanent reality. This is why physician Peter Attia advises individuals in their 40s to aim for the 75th percentile or higher for their age and sex right now. You cannot blame your parents for a terrible score. The Heritage Family Study showed genetics only account for 40 to 50% of your baseline VO2 max and how well your body adapts to exercise. This is your heritability, which is just the starting hand of cards you are dealt in a poker game. You have massive personal control over the remaining 50% of this critical lifespan metric. Your lung capacity on a treadmill today literally predicts your ability to remember your family in 50 years. Older adults are not stuck with this natural decline. Participating in 8 to 12 weeks of structured low and high-intensity training can bump your score up by 5 to 10% in adults over 60. It is never too late to actively rewind the biological clock. Building this engine physically rewires your plumbing to protect against obesity and dangerous metabolic syndromes. These syndromes are a perfect storm of slow-moving biological disasters like high blood pressure and high blood sugar. A high VO2 max acts as a chemical shield against these diseases. It improves how your body burns fat, a biological process called lipid oxidation that works exactly like throwing logs onto a blazing fire. It also heavily improves insulin sensitivity. This dictates how smoothly the key turns in a locked door, allowing your cells to absorb sugar safely from your blood. Training physically grows a thick web of tiny blood vessels weaving through muscle tissue. This capillary density is like adding more lanes to a highway, preventing traffic jams of red blood cells so they can dump oxygen straight into those tiny mitochondrial power plants to burn fuel faster. To build this network, scientists recommend a mix of Zone 2 and high-intensity intervals. Zone 2 is steady, low-intensity cardio where you can still comfortably talk. It feels like cruising down the highway at a comfortable 55 miles per hour. High-intensity training pushes you near your maximum heart rate. This is exactly like redlining the engine to pass a truck on a steep hill. However, critics warn that chasing a high oxygen score will not save you if you ignore muscle strength and joint mobility. These independently predict dangerous falls in old age. You cannot rely on cardio alone. Ignoring the rest of your body leaves a massive blind spot in your longevity. Elite human endurance athletes, like Olympic cross-country skiers, can achieve values exceeding 90 milliliters of oxygen per kilogram. But here is the wild part. No matter how hard we train, we will never beat an Alaskan Husky. Their VO2 max tops 200, more than double an Olympic champion. An Alaskan Husky sprinting through snow literally operates with an engine double the size of ours. They represent the absolute limit for mammalian oxygen efficiency. If you want to know how the foods you eat directly fuel those mitochondria for better endurance, watch this video next. Every single unit increase in your VO2 max buys you roughly 45 days of longevity. It dictates how efficiently your cells breathe, a clock you can actively rewind. If you liked this, 12 spices and the chemistry of blooming in oil, that's the next one.